Welcome guys to day 2 of our tour of Japan. Good morning guys, we are at the Nikko Hotel in Tokyo Bay, Miyahama. So we're down in the main breakfast area of the Nikko Hotel here. So we're going to check out what the breakfasts are like here in Japan, but generally they're quite a big widespread, from things like fish to Western style food to everything in between. Okay, as I was hoping, the food here this morning at breakfast is spectacular. They've got a whole section here which is all sort of Japanese style foods, and then another whole section which is Western style foods. So we're going to eat like kings this morning. So I'm going to get into it. Okay. Hey, one thing we're going to be showing you a lot of while we're in Japan is obviously the language and the signage. So you'll see here a couple of things you'll see quite often, which is Deguchi, which is exit, and Iriguchi. Of DisneySea. Pretty impressive. They got the amazing lockers over there for people to visit and to store all your equipment. Just beautifully built. And you know, I think this is the newest Disney resort in the world at the moment, and it's supposed to be one of the best. Well, hi guys, welcome back to day 2 of our tour of Italy. Here we are in one of the Palazzo. Wait a minute, Italy? Oh no, hang on. We're in Japan. We're at, yeah, this is Tokyo Disneyseea. I got myself confused. This is amazing. So we've just come into Tokyo Disneyseea here and to one of the main plaza areas. And as you can see behind us, some of the buildings here are quite spectacular. And in fact, we'll a bit later go over towards the bridge behind us, which has obviously been built to look very much like one of the bridges, maybe the Rialto Bridge in Venice, but it's the amount of work that's gone into building this place is just unbelievable. So anyway, we're going to continue wandering around and see what else we can find. So how'd you get caught? What are you in for? What, stealing a police jail van? So we've been in DisneySea here now for probably 3 or 4 hours already today, and we've seen a hell of a lot. So many amazing themes in here of different harbours and different ocean sort of adventures. At the moment we've come to this sort of Middle Eastern theme area of the park, and it's quite massive, and some of the architecture and the actual buildings in this area are quite stunning and really amazingly well built. Yeah, it probably doesn't look 100% authentic, but it's pretty close. It really is good. I've sent my wife and the boys into this little adventure behind us here, Sinbad. So hopefully they'll come back one day. Yeah. But yeah, it's really, really impressive here. Overall, I would say for older people, certainly I would rate coming here to DisneySea over the Disneyland next door that we went yesterday. But definitely worth coming to see, you know, one if not both of these theme parks here, which are side by side here in Tokyo. Really amazing. A couple of things I would say, it's the very end of June right now, so it is getting quite warm. It's sort of it's about nearly 28 to 30 degrees centigrade here today, so it's getting quite warm, but it is another 5, possibly 8 degrees warmer if we were here in about another month and a half into August. That's when it's really mid summer here in Japan, which, having lived here in the past, that does get pretty darn hot. So just a couple of things I'd say in general about if you're coming to Disneyland here in Tokyo, the DISNEYSEA or the Disneyland, if you're coming as a family with children particularly, overall great experience. As far as eating and food during your visit here at the park, I don't particularly highly rate the food here. Not only the food itself isn't actually that great, in my opinion, actually compared to the food in general in Japan, but also it's really highly priced. I mean, you're going to pay 2 or 3 times the price, 4 times the price for food that you get elsewhere. So we did yesterday. We were a bit desperate because we just arrived into the country at Disneyland, and we did end up buying and consuming quite a bit of food at Disneyland next door yesterday, just because we weren't prepared. But today we did actually bring a whole lot of food in the pack for ourselves and the boys that we purchased at the local supermarket last night. So just a thought there, if you're traveling as a family, do try and bring lots of food and definitely lots of drinking water and that sort of thing with you into the park, and there's no problem doing that. So just a little hint there for you travelers coming here. Alright, it's our second night here in Tokyo, and we've decided to just come down to the Miyahara station near Disneyland again to grab our evening meal. Now, just to give you guys an idea of what sort of meal you can buy and how much it costs here, we've just come into it's a little like food alley place, and I've bought a gyudon, which is a gyu means beef, and a don is basically like a noodle soup. So it's gyudon. This cost only 590 yen, which is about 7 New Zealand dollars. That's about 5 US dollars. So this is really a decent evening meal for me. It's enough for me. So that gives you guys a good idea of, you know, what it's going to cost for a basic meal on the street in the evening here in Japan. Welcome to Toilet Tours Japan. Actually, I'm not doing a toilet tour. I've always been quite fascinated by households in Japan and what really high-tech stuff they have and what stuff is really simple. You know, you think of Japan as a very advanced society and that everything in the house will be like the Jetsons, but it's not always the case. But I've always been really fascinated by, you know, how advanced they are with their toilets. I mean, look at the controller for the toilet here in the hotel. I mean, I think I need to read a 20-page manual before I can flush this thing. I've been really cautious because I didn't want to accidentally give myself a face wash by pushing the wrong button. But, I think the toilet here is probably more advanced than the one on the latest spaceships going into space with NASA. It's just mental. From rumours, I hear that, you know, these toilets, they don't really keep the firmware fully up to date on these toilets. So I think this toilet's probably running on Windows 7, not Windows 10. So, you know, there is potential for a few viruses here. So you want to be careful. And, you know, if you push the wrong button, you could be in the poo.